Good evening. Thank you for tuning in to episode 29 of the Frontline Black News. I'm host Chan Kruma, and I'm joined with my other host, Kay. And we have two guests tonight. We have Shabaka Sankori of Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced, which I am the co-host of. And we have Mel Understanding, who is a political prisoner at the Colorado State Mental Hospital. And we will be discussing several things tonight. First off, this show is for those that are 18 years of older, and we will be discussing topics that pertain specifically to the foundation of Black American descendants of slavery population. Um, and we will be discussing several things tonight. The first thing is Tangibles 2021, Biden's treatment of Haitians at the border, Biden's remorse. So this is for all you Biden supporters who now all of a sudden have remorse and hires remorse. Biden and told you he was no good from the start. The vaccines, Tay Anderson found not guilty of sexual assault, and unhoused neighbor news. Shabaka.
Yes, sir. Greetings. Yeah, this is Shabaka Sankori, um, and I'm the executive producer and the host of the podcast Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. We are with Frontline Black News, frontlinecampaign.org. Check us out. And these are some crazy ass times that we got going on currently, and also too on our podcast Tuesday night at Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced. The phone number to call in is 516-418-5996, and press 1 to speak live on the air. And we have an open mic that on that production, and the title of it is going to be "What's on Your Mind?" And it's open mic, and it is for those 18 years of age and over, and it will be uncensored.
Right on. Ramel, your intro.
My name is Ramel Understanding, the angel of peace from the east. Understanding understood in the neighborhood near you. Bringing a little hope without the dope. Official Frontline Campaign. Check us out on officialfrontlinecampaign.org. And I'm just here to speak my peace and maintain my peace.
All right. So the first topic for tonight is Tangibles 2021. So this is the year of the decade of tangibles. As I've stressed on numerous shows previous to this, we are demanding something for our vote as foundational Black Americans, American descendants of slavery. So any politician that is seeking your vote, demand something tangible for your votes. So this goes for the local, state, federal, all levels of government. Demand something for your vote, or do not vote. Withhold your votes until there's tangibles given to you. We have to learn that power is not given, it's taken. And these politicians keep taking our vote for granted, and we're not going to allow it anymore. So this is going to be a marathon, not a sprint. Black family, we're demanding $100 trillion for past, present, and future atrocities that have been brought against our people. Now, there's been a malign neglect policy that's been in place for the past 50 years, which lumps foundational Black Americans into terms such as people of color, minorities, marginalized, what other words? Disenfranchised, disadvantaged, underserved, underprivileged. The list goes on and on. Yeah, colored people. The list goes on these terms that they lump us into. And these terms have only benefited other groups. They have not benefited us. So we're saying enough is enough of this. You need to do something specifically for us. Otherwise, we're not going to vote for you. So we are setting a precedent, Black family, with this. The days are over of us just voting just to be voting or voting out of duress. or voting because the media told us to vote. If we're not getting nothing tangible out of it, we're not going to participate in it. Period.
That's right.
So we're done allowing these politicians to take our vote for granted. The days are over of them taking our vote for granted. We're not going to take it anymore. So if you're going to participate in this political process, demand something for your vote. We're not telling you you have to vote. We're not telling you who to vote for. We're just saying if here on Frontline Black News, if you're going to vote, if you choose to vote as an American citizen, that is supposedly your right, right? Demand something for your vote. That's all we're stressing here on Frontline Black News. And the Democrats, they need to stop taking our vote for granted. All this symbolism is not helping us. All this, oh, we're going to give you a national holiday. That's not tangible. All this, we're going to give you a hip hop day. That's not tangible. Or we're going to name a street after a civil rights leader. That's not tangible. All this symbology is not tangible, Black family. And we can no longer fall for it. We demanded something concrete, something substantive, something you can count, measure, feel. And that's the gist of it, family. That's what Tangibles 2021, Tangibles 2020 was all about. And since it's 2021, it's Tangibles 2021. And next year it'd be Tangibles 2022. And the midterm elections are coming up. So all we're stressing here on Frontline Black News is demand something for your vote from any of these politicians, any of these parties, Democrats or Republicans, independent parties, any politicians that are seeking your vote, Black family, demand something for your vote. That's just it.
Cut the check. That's
And,
right.
and yeah, they need to cut the check. $100 trillion. That's it.
Right
You can
now.
give a down payment, but you gotta show us, that you're serious about this because you want our vote, but then we vote for you and you do nothing for us. The days are over. So we gotta
Exactly.
build our economic base, Black family, because politicians all they care about is money that can be bought and rented. So we need to build up our economic base and we need to demand something for our vote. Period. Withhold your vote if
Yes,
you need
sir.
to. But we need
And if
to
I'm at it, yeah,
madness.
go ahead,
Go
brother
ahead.
Chair. I'm sorry.
What we're
Yes, sir.
gonna
And
say,
I was going to
Shabbat.
say, well, yes, sir. And not only we need some type of system for ourselves at the political level, but also too on the economical level as well too. Is because a little research that I've done, where they try to crumb bum on black entrepreneurship. Okay, now the thing is the way that this economy is, way how it is unstable, it's all gone digital. So what we need to do, black family, start this very minute, is coming up with things for us to have banking systems, medium of exchange, jobs, trades in our own markets.
Shabbat,
Because look at what we do for us.
connections going in and out.
You sound bad.
I sound bad. All right, hold on. Okay, how do I sound?
Yep.
We got shout out to
Okay,
Frank
check this
Sturgill.
out. First, this is what I want to say, man. That black people wake the fuck up, man. Stop allowing these people to assimilate you. Stop letting these brain invaders invade your brain. And give you these ideas of inclusion and unity and all this other shit, man. Like they ever going to accept us, on any kind of level and show us equality on any kind of level. Because they for them, we need to be about us. And that's what's up. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
absolutely.
Go ahead, brother.
Yes, sir. Because off of our sweat and blood and misery and bondage and what have you, we contributed greatly, to the economical power base, of the wealth that's been produced, not only from the sweat and labor and blood of our people that was spilled on the plantations picking cotton or dealing with lumber, textiles, shipping and receiving at that time, uh, maintaining livestock, things of that nature right there has contributed greatly to the gross domestic product of the United States, if not the whole Western Hemisphere, of course, damn near all of Europe. You see what I mean? And as the brother was saying, we need some fucking tangibles. Straight out. Now I'm looking at this bullshit here on CNN News, Cartoon News Network. Yeah, I'm talking about you tricks. And at this time of these news clippings that they're showing from the early 70s, because the decade they're doing is the 70s, you could see back then of how our unity, was being dismantled. You know, we had it, then it became, dismantled, and a lot of it, had self destruct. So looking at it, 2.5 generations later, from 50 years ago, we as a people, on a collective basis, domestically and internationally, have crumbled politically, economically, and damn near physically. Say, because we contributed, to the wealth of the financial power, of the U.S., of Western Europe. You see what I mean? The Belgians, the French, the British.
Yep.
And they, want us to sit here and be preoccupied with prepackaged bullshit,
Yeah. Yeah, so once again, demand something for your vote. We're not telling you how to vote, who to vote for, when to vote. Just if you're going to vote, Black family, demand something for your vote.
I also want to say, don't do it because it's the popular thing to do. Do it because it's the right thing to do. A lot of people take that popularity vote and just run with it. Well, Joe Blow is over there voting for this and this and this, and I think I'm gonna jump on board. Don't be a part of that go along, get along crew. Like, look, tangibles right now for you. They don't benefit you. You can't touch it. You can't retain it. You can't reach it, smell it, kiss it, hold it. Don't vote for it. As simple as that. I mean, and like we shouldn't even have to be having these discussions now. I mean, obviously, you see what a travesty this whole Biden thing was. I mean, that's going to head into another topic here shortly. How y'all feeling now? But um, it's ridiculous. Like, look, you gotta stop. Like, just if it's not gonna behoove you moving along in this next section, right? It doesn't have no tangibles for you. Hold your fucking vote. Hold it with dear life. Hold it like it's the only thing that matters, and watch how this shit happens. You know what I mean? No, none of us
Okay,
really have.
could I interject?
Go ahead, Sean.
Okay, all right. Yes, sir. Okay, but you got to make sure that when you go through all this effort and what have you, they got their machinations and more machinations that they're trying to put in there when it comes to the voting block. But what it is we have to vote as a block, and what we're demanding or for our votes is to get us some type of economical business stimulus packages. You see what I'm saying? Regardless of what is jail, what is jail record is, regardless, because past might be. You say he's trying to do the right thing and try to provide for himself, his family, his community. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I've noticed that these latest stimulus packets don't cover everybody, and a lot of it is they're marketing it towards families and elders, and
Well,
not really anybody else. I mean, there's been like several talks of several different packages, and it's like, nah, it's not working out.
The stimulus package everybody. We need a stimulus package specifically for us.
Right.
In the sum total of $100 trillion. And like Frank Sturgill said, we must also change the economic power structure. It is very rigged, and it's rigged to
Well,
very
see, that's why.
gas system.
Yeah.
Okay, now that there, brother Che. Now to make that change, okay, in the long run, okay, that's going to be on the generation after you. Because see, one thing you have to look at is that when the Europeans went out and dominated, militarily and economically, reaping the resources, the natural resources of the continent of Cuba line, Africa, or whatever you want to call it. But that great big continent I'm talking about, which is halfway around, like say from North and South America, that's going due east and a little bit to the south. They got a place there called the Great Desert. They call it the Sahara. You
Yep.
know that place. See, and what it is it goes to the generations after us. This is why on our platforms I've always emphasized, homeschooling our youth. And the first place where it's got to start at to make this change is because, as you so well put it, Brother Che, that this is a marathon, not a sprint. Okay. And I even think one of our elders did leave in his writings is that the revolution will always be inherited in the youth.
Right. So, one of our viewers, hold on, I want to get to this viewer's comment. So, Frank Sturgill said that the NAACP of Colorado disabled their chat today when two questions about the economic racism were asked. Even the NAACP wants economic racism, and he has a screenshot.
Ooh.
The NAACP wants racism.
He said they want economic racism.
Yeah. I mean, they're pushing.
Okay, they want economic racism. Well, first place, let's get something straight here, people. You cannot have the current economical system that you have in place now without racism.
Right.
Thank you, Frank.
Well, Dr. Claude Anderson told us that slavery maldistributed 90% of this country's wealth into the hands of the white dominant society. So,
yeah, but it's that. Look, folks, let me just interrupt. Look at Michael Jackson when he was 10. I'm just leaving it like that.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, continue, brother. Yeah.
Little cutie.
After the Civil War,
that Pepsi commercial rap after that.
After the Civil War, Reconstruction, corrective action,
right?
America had done to us for centuries, and now today we see that was the first civil rights movement. Now today we see all these rights that we fought and died for going to benefit all these other groups. So the whole purpose of the tangible.
Oh, exactly.
Is to shed light on that, to shed light on the malign neglects, and to let our people know, stop letting these politicians take your vote for granted. And we're still waiting on you Biden supporters to tell us what tangible benefits from the Biden administration. Because Biden's been in office for almost 10 months now, and we have got nothing tangible.
Right.
After he sat up here and told
not
us
only have we not gotten anything tangible, brother, if I may interject, but there's not even been no preliminary work put on it. Hell, it ain't even been mentioned in his regime or administration.
Nope.
Not at all. After he sat up here and told us that we were the reason why he got in the office and that black women were the backbone of the Democratic Party and getting nothing tangible for it. But all these other groups are tangible.
And then the cold part about it is that of the mass incarceration that contributed to the destruction of the black family, inner city problems that we all are aware of, but it still boils down to the economical aspects of it. Okay, politicians use economics because the only thing with economics is just the science of how a society allocates its limited resources.
Right.
Yo,
See,
can I have my 2 cents
and
real quick, General Ferris?
Go ahead, Ramel.
Okay. What I was getting at was, man, we got to stop endorsing these motherfucking European ideas, European ideology, and start thinking for ourselves. You know what I mean? Every time I turn the TV,
indeed,
some motherfucker demonizing and monopolizing and monetizing off of black folks. You know what I mean? And I'm fed up with the shit. You know what I mean? And what they scheming and we dreaming. You know what I mean? These motherfuckers, they put the drugs in the community. You know, black people, if you think these motherfuckers are your friends, you're in serious I don't even know what to say about this shit. I'm just like, they put the drugs in the community, they gave us the guns, so we could kill each other, over some drug shit, and then they create the prison industrial system so they can get paid off the shit. That's one of the sources of income for white folks and the establishment is the prison industrial system.
Right.
Cheap labor. And I don't remember who said it on one of these shows, but America was built on cheap labor.
Yep.
You're right.
Is that they're always pushing some bullshit to us. They now the revolution then went homosexual. You know what I mean, with this Black Lives Matter bullshit. They done demonized that, demonized that. You know what I mean? Everything they deal with and everything they come across, they mix and dilute it. And like I said earlier, these people are brain invaders. You know what I mean? And they put ideas in our motherfucking head, trying to normalize us, trying to normalize these ideas, and basically dumbing us down to their ideology. And I'm just, it's a sad condition that our people are in. I think that we need to start, identifying with who we are, start bonding with each other, acting kind of unity, and start buying black, man. Stop buying and endorsing nation. That's giving them power.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then also,
stop wearing their clothes. Buy your own people's clothes. Make your own clothes. Like the brother was saying, we need entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? And I think that's the only solution is separating away from them. Because they going to fall victim to their own bullshit. You know what I mean? And,
right.
America's going to fall. It's like Rome fell.
And then,
it's like,
and then too, to prove your point even further, is that if we change our buying habits, you see what I'm saying, and change our innovative ideas and marketing things and do research and development to enhance ourselves, you see what I mean? Hey, we can make a major shift, man, quicker than this damn COVID pandemic did, man,
Right.
They're gonna fall
because
they're gonna be on their hands and knees begging us to help them resurrect. Because it's all good, just like the drug problem. They introduced it to the community, but now it's affecting them now.
Right.
Through treatment programs and all this other good shit.
Yeah, they get safe injection sites.
When that LGBTQ shit infects their fucking community so bad that, their population decreases to a level of, these motherfuckers, they're going to come begging us for help to keep their communities, to uplift their communities, just like during the Dark Ages. when they had all them plagues and all that sickness over there because they weren't washing their hands.
And
The
they were
black
living
people
with
went
Exactly.
and gave them soap and taught them how to clean their body. And it's the same thing that's gonna happen with them now. You know what I mean? But on the mental tip, if you catch my drift. You know what I mean?
Oh, indeed.
all right. So let's
It's the
get to
same thing.
this. Let's get to the next topic. We got Biden's treatment of the Haitians at the border.
Oh wait.
So who want to
Yeah.
go first at this?
Yeah. Okay. Well, from what I've seen, and
Say something about this.
yes, sir. And then on the podcast, the phone number for all you Biden supporters to call in, coming up this Tuesday at 7 p.m. in the Mountain Time Zone, 6 p.m. in the Pacific Time Zone, 9 p.m. in the East. The number once again is 516-418-5996. Jot down the number, call into the show, all you Biden supporters, and we want to see what benefits have we gotten from the current president.
Yeah.
And then look at this individual's track record, and then look like how he switched up on you already. You
Yeah.
see?
I want to talk about the Haitians at the border. I want to talk about that for a second. I've been watching it avidly since it started on the news on ABC Live, I guess, on the web because I don't have a TV, so watch everything online. And I want to say a few things. One, be one all day. I'm just gonna say that Black first. Uh, Two, I'm surprised. Like from the imagery, and after everything I've been reading, researching, and re-educating myself, just the pictures alone with the rangers on the horse and the whips and the black people on the in the water and running off from them and whatnot and trying to get around them. It just looks like, and then walking across the river, um, looks like scenes from chattel slavery. Two, the what I find is completely wrong on some levels is that they were so quick to import thousands of Afghanistan people and with them and their families and their enemies into the United States, but very quick to go ahead and deport all the Haitian and South American black people. What I find is really bad is that nobody was there to advocate for the Haitian people, but the Haitian people aren't really fighting back. There are so many of them down there that if they really wanted to overtake some shit, they probably could have. They probably could have just bomb rushed the gates and just pushed their way in. I mean, they only got so many bullets down there, you know what I mean? But it's terrible that you got women and children. There's a lot of children down there, and that there's no real aid. There's no real assistance. Then they're really on the program of deportation. Um, Although, as far as what I've been learning and reading over the last couple years, there's been a big separation, and they weren't really trying to unify uh, with us American black people. So now they're not. Now they want help, and now that nobody's really wanting to aid in that, is it something they did to themselves? I'm not sure. All I know is that it seems like a real tragedy that uh, the president here is so quick to take in Afghanistan refugees, give them everything, but will refuse the Haitian ones and send them back to nothing where they have in their country. They just went through a whole bunch of political shit. They lost their president, who was assassinated, and they went through a major earthquake, and they're living in rubble. Like, I mean, obviously they need help, but they're going about it the wrong way, I guess. I see that the news is there to for photo ops and coverage, but no, where's FEMA? You know what I mean? Where's FEMA? Where are the people down there? Where's anybody? But like I said, I don't know, what the propaganda is or what the politics is with that, but I do know that it looks really bad for America, and it's a real bad look for the president, and he looks very, 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 very racist, which we already knew that, but he looks extremely more racist. Him and Kamala Harris, who's supposed to be running that. You know what I mean? Granted, whatever the reasons that foundational Black Americans and American descendants of slaves don't jive with the Haitians, and Haitians don't jive with Americans. I mean, that's something that'll probably never be worked out. But at this point, it's a real bad look for our president, who could let in white, or what he's considering now white, adding to the white numbers with the Afghanistan people, and instead of adding to the Black numbers with the Haitians. As you can see, there's an agenda, clearly an agenda, and we're watching it. Watching that they got to be accountable for themselves right now. But my surprise is that as deep as the Haitians are and South Americans are down there right now at the border, why they haven't took the border. I mean, like that would be my thought. If they weren't gonna let you in nicely, just take it. You want to come here so badly.
It might happen for him.
Yeah, that's all I got to say about that. Very
Oh
interesting.
yeah. Can I speak on it?
I was going to speak on it, Ramel.
Hold on, brother.
Yeah, so Haiti was the first European colony to gain its independence and to end slavery. So back in the 1800s, Savant Overture, Denmark, Vesey, Dessalines, Bookman. There's a whole documentary series, Hidden Colors did 1804, the hidden history of Haiti. I would advise everybody that's watching this to check that out so you can get more detail onto the history of Haiti and why Haiti is being treated the way it's been treated for centuries. Now,
Well, keep in mind, though, too, Brother Chair, if I might add on to that, as we know, is that Thomas Jefferson in his State of the Union during that time after the Haitian Revolution had pushed for legislation in the United States Congress to ban the importation of African slaves directly from the continent. Is because he probably had figured, because he was one of these raping, slave trading pedophiles himself, is that they had had enough slaves to make more slaves off of. I'm talking about the second and third generations, as opposed to the first ones who were brought here. And with that there being a rebellion as it was, and then of course, as we do know about the Amistad situation that happens a couple of decades after that, goes to show the barbarism of it and the brutalization of it. And anyone will defend themselves, from that, and particularly when it's institutionalized. So generation after generation, all this anger and what have you is building up. And hey, you can only kick a dog so many times. And this is what the Haitians did in 1804. And Jefferson didn't want to have that problem in the U.S. is because they didn't want the rebellion, actually, is what it was.
right, they didn't want the rebellion, but the rebellion happened.
Although they still had them, in the U.S. But go ahead.
Yeah, so the Haitian Rebellion was the Haitian Revolution was the reason why the Louisiana Purchase happened. The U.S. ended up buying up all kinds of land, which basically makes up the Midwest right now, including the state of Colorado. They purchased that after the Haitian Revolution. So Haiti brought Europe to its knees, specifically the French, And Europe,
Right.
Western powers have not forgotten that. So still to this day, Haiti, which is really a rich nation in terms of minerals and resources, is one of the poorest nations on the planet. Due
Oh,
to
yes,
sanctions,
sir.
due
That's
to
because they're being exploited, man.
right. So
Oh, big time.
this
Okay, finish your point. Sorry about that, bro. Go ahead.
yeah. So where I'm going with this, the Haitians thought that they were just gonna come up in the United States like the the white Hispanic illegal immigrants. They thought they were gonna be treated the same way and be allowed asylum and to be allowed to come into the US. But as Shabaka stated, the immigration laws in this country have never been to the benefit of black people, black immigrants. They've been to deport them and keep the numbers down and increase the white numbers by any means necessary. So
Right.
now the Haitians are getting a reality check. Like, look, you're not going to be treated like these white Hispanic immigrants. You're going to be treated like niggas, and they're not going to allow you in this country. And what frustrates me so bad is they gave Trump all this hell about his immigration policy and how he wasn't allowing certain immigrants into the country. And now you see Biden doing the same thing. So we're still waiting on the
Right.
black reporters to tell us what the hell is the difference between Biden and Trump because they're both doing the same thing.
Biden looking worse though.
Not a goddamn thing. Yeah, Biden was more.
Exactly.
He tried to
And and
Go ahead,
Can I
Rudy.
add on? Sure. All I was going to say was, I remember my sponsor, Abu Shahid, he said that the first law of the devil is divide and conquer. And what's going on over there in the border is a clear example of that. Reason being, the Mexicans or whoever it is from South America trying to get in there, you know, as much as they try to identify with white folks, they ain't white. You know what I mean? And as much as white folks try to act like they're allowing them to be on the same class or the same identification class as white people, they know them people ain't white. There's just like Mexicans there, just like Colombians. You know, all through the whole South America, you got black people. You know what I mean? So so what I'm noticing is that and one reference point I have to that is a book by Raymond D. Jabbar called Black Profiles of Courage. He talks about the black presence within South America and Central America. And another reference point I'm going to utilize is the Encyclopedia Africanus, which proves that Mexicans and South Americans are more closely related to African folks than are the Caucasians. So, I say all that to say this, that the same way they separated the half so-called Negro with the field Negro, same thing they're doing to the people at the border. So,
exactly.
Dealing with white folk, yeah, they let the Afghanis in there. The Afghanistans are what are labeled as Indo-Aryans. And even in the process of the white people being birthed into reality or into existence, they will separate the blacks from the blacks. And they did that in a place called the Unhoused Valley, in which the Indo-Aryans, a certain amount of them, a group of them, they killed the black babies and saved the brown babies, just like they would in China if the baby was born a girl, they'd kill her. So in the Unhoused Valley, if the baby was dark and had certain features, they would kill it. And if it had certain features that they wanted, they'd save it. And that's what they consider brown. They kept this process going for 600 years until they produced the Aryans. the arrogance was ran out of the Indian families into the Constitution. You know, my whole point is that the separation of black and brown has is the success of the white race. And I think we need to be educated about that because, you know, if black and brown were able to find each other with the common ground, then the whole white civilization would fall victim to their own bullshit. That's
Yeah,
just what I
I
said
mean,
that whole issue.
it sounds like a utopia to me. These groups have
Well,
literally sided with white supremacy, and they continue to
they
side with
don't know
white
what the fuck
supremacy.
they do. They're
Right.
uneducated, just like the so-called, as you label them, Paris. They sided with white supremacy, but it's because they're ignorant. You know what
Okay,
I
so
mean? And I'm not making an excuse for
you can
them,
only be ignorant
but
for
you
so
know, I know
long.
we could. No, I'm not saying you. I'm saying them.
No, I'm saying them. They can only be ignorant for so long. At some point, you gotta learn that you're falling right into the trap. Like you're literally claiming white on everything because you're getting told that white people have all the benefits, and you're being screened at the border, told not to have nothing to do with Black Americans, have nothing to do with them. They're nothing but trouble. This is what they do through customs when they go through the immigration process. So this is all targeted and know better to do better. It's like you can only use that for so long.
Slavery's real. Mental slavery is real, and a lot of these people, no matter what, they would rather side with the oppressor than with the people who are trying to free them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, you know, I'm just saying it's a product of slavery, brother.
I'm just saying, like this Pan-Africanism has only been a one-sided thing. Foundational Black Americans has been leading the charge on this since slavery, and all these other groups have literally been. Yeah, all these other groups have literally been shitting on us, telling us, "Oh, you're lazy. You're not working hard enough. Why aren't you able to build capital and businesses like we are able to?"
Well, see, that's the problem with our children being in the public indoctrination centers.
Right. That's because of the propaganda of white folks. But I'm just saying, you know, that white supremacy is producing that kind of mentality. That's all I'm trying to say, brother.
Globally.
That's all I'm trying to say. Yes. But the people who are falling victim to that kind of ideology, it's not even their fault, per se. You know what I mean? Because they don't know. Some people in the other countries, man, they barely got
they don't know
education or anything.
No,
man.
they know.
They're living in motherfucking shacks. Some people are living in shacks, bro.
They know.
You see how the motherfuckers were living in Afghanistan?
Yeah, but they know.
Some people were fucked up. Some people were peasants, bro. Some people are peasants, bro. They don't know shit.
Bro, they know. Do you know what they know? They know anti-Black racism. All those countries that you just named, they practice anti-Black racism.
This Afghanis dark as you, brother. There's Afghanis and the Arabs dark as you that don't know shit about nothing, bro. That's what I'm trying to say.
They still practice anti-Black racism. Even when you look at India, they have a caste system. The darkest people are on the very bottom of that system. They're called the untouchables.
Yes, sir. You're right. I'm not taking nothing from what you're saying, but I'm just saying that Black people as a whole, when the transatlantic slave trade started, only 5% of the slaves made it to the
North America.
85%
made it to South America, Central America.
Yeah, Central America, South America, and the islands, bro. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, those were the colonies of Spain, Portugal, France, and England. And the Dutch, what do they call that? The Netherlands now?
Can you put that in the speaker? Because I can't really hear it. I really want to hear what Shabaka got to say, please. Go ahead, Shabaka.
Yes, sir. But I was going to say all of those that you have mentioned were enslaved by the Dutch, the Spaniards, the British, and the French and the Portuguese in the transatlantic slave trade. And then keep in mind, off of the research that I've done over the years, is that when they made the captures and was bringing them on the boats, crossing the Atlantic, right, going through the islands, going over there to Brazil and what have you, any of them, or these European slave catchers, had a group of slaves, but they were selling them all up and down the ports. I mean, all up and down, into the slave markets, the slave ports. Rather, if it was Brazil, Central America, Louisiana, South Carolina, Veracruz, Mexico, Havana, Cuba, San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Yes, sir. Dominican Republic.
Yes, the Bahamas,
Yes, sir.
the Virgin Islands.
I can't really make out what Shabaka's saying because of the speaker. So I thought I'll let y'all know that.
He's naming all these
I'm trying to
countries
figure out
and islands that were
Yes, sir.
colonized by Europeans.
Exactly.
And all these
Exactly.
countries and nations that he's naming all practice anti-black racism.
Yes, sir. And then they bought and sold slaves amongst each other. In other words, when the British went there and captured a group of brothers, brought them here, when they came to the slave markets of Havana, Cuba, New Orleans, Louisiana, Charleston, South Carolina, Annapolis, Maryland, and what have you, yeah, you damn right. You know that they sold some of their slaves there.
Yeah. Well, Shabak, could I add on one more thing? I was
Yes,
reading
sir.
the Encyclopedia Africanus, and it says in there
Yes, sir.
that different types of slave traders, they all had a different kind of like method of raising their slaves and indoctrinating their slaves. Think about the Spaniards. Spaniards, they came up with a couple of so cool that the darkest Spaniard slave would think he wasn't black, and they programmed that they put that into their
General, you're fading in and out.
Breaking up, Ramel.
Okay, that document, I don't know what it's called, but the monarchs in Spain, they signed off on it where they were indoctrinating the slaves to think they weren't even black. So it's that. So all that all that
dark.
it's not their fault, bro.
That
It's like my cousin. You know my cousin, Truth, man. He was jet black. He said he wasn't black. How much of an oxymoron is that? It's not his fault, bro.
bro, you can only plead ignorance for so long. When you come to this country, you learn real quick that you're black. You know how you learn? The white people let you know that. Now,
I know
the
I'm
people
black
that come from
because
these
I'm
countries,
educated.
they think they're something that they're not. You got people from Haiti that think that they're French black people. You got people from Dominican Republic that think that they're Spanish people or
Right.
Spanish
Yes, sir.
black people. You got people in Central America that think that they're Spanish black people. They don't want to have no camaraderie with being black. They only want to be black when it's convenient or when it suits them. The people that built this country, foundational black Americans, have been leading this charge on Pan-Africanism since day one. And it's only been one-sided.
I'm not taking nothing away from that, brother. What I'm saying is that the other people are in ignorance and they've been miseducated. That's all I want to say, Paris. That's all I want to say.
Or see, and this is what I've always have stated is that this is why we got to get our children up out of the public indoctrination centers, is because that's where they get that programming from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what makes it so bad? Now they got black children not even identifying with their own natural gender. You see what I'm saying? I mean, this indoctrination and propaganda bullshit is on the next level now.
Yeah.
Oh, precisely.
So,
Well, we're gonna get to the
yeah,
media soon
so
enough. Um, did y'all have anything else to say about the Haitians' treatment at the border?
Yes, sir. Is that as you can see, is that the border patrols on horseback using whips, just employing, principles and traditions that have been handed down to them, from their mindset and what have you, and have other groups, implement it against us as well too. But it's still the same thing. They don't beat them with a whip. Still a bounty on them. 3/5 of a human being. See, that's in the American ethos. It's groups thinking in regard to us as a people.
Right, because they see us all as one big nigga.
Precisely. That is precisely the point that is being made. Yes, sir. That is it.
What's our next topic?
The next topic is Biden's remorse. So we're still waiting on you Biden supporters to tell us Biden administration. Like I said, Biden's been in office for 9, 10 months, and we ain't got nothing tangible for it. So now all of a sudden, y'all got remorse. Now you got buyer's remorse. Now you're seeing, oh, it was no difference between him and Trump. They were both white supremacists. But you fell for the banana in the tailpipe when they told you, well, anybody but Trump, and we just can't have 4 more years of Trump.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Oh,
my
yeah.
God,
Oh, yes, sir.
Trump out of
we gotta
office.
vote Democrat.
Yeah, you got to
Yes, sir.
vote Democrat down ballot. All that madness y'all was talking. Now, where are y'all Biden supporters at? We still waiting on y'all. Where are y'all ads? Especially you black ones. Where are you black Biden supporters? Are y'all gonna defend your boy Jim Crow Biden?
I like how Biden.
You Biden second Ho Biden. Y'all gonna support Ho Biden?
Shots at Redfield. He said, Biden.
Y'all still supporting him?
Yeah, well, hey, you've been had. You've been took. You got your heads bumped. You got beat. You've been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled.
So,
For over a year.
Traitorism country is real.
For over a year, y'all told us that we needed anybody but Trump, and Biden was going to be the answer to all your woes,
Yeah.
right? I went out y'all way.
Yeah.
If you don't vote for Jim Crow Biden, then you just want Trump. No. I told you if you ain't don't vote for me.
Right.
At least Trump was consistent, bro.
Right. Trump was consistent. He was a straight up in your face white supremacist. He told you, and he told you he wasn't gonna do nothing for your black ass.
The Proud Boys and all that shit, yeah.
Yeah, he gave you the back in the day speeches. This is what we do to them type
Dumb
shit.
people.
Them.
And Malcolm X said it best. I'd much rather deal with a white racist wolf than them lying no good liberals coming to us as a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd much rather deal with the wolf.
Right.
Well.
So again, we're still waiting on you Biden supporters to tell us what tangible benefits we're getting from a Biden administration. Now they're saying,
hey, you
got to give him more time. How much time does he need? He didn't need that much time to do something for the LGBTQ.
Right.
He didn't need that much time to do something for these illegal immigrants.
You love that.
Right.
You love that.
He didn't need that much time to do for all these other groups, the Asians. He passed legislation for them immediately.
He don't need any more time to fuck off black people. He don't need no more time to fuck off black people.
So keep boo-hooing and keep your tears, because we don't want to hear the bullshit. We warned you for over a year that Biden wasn't going to be no good, that he wasn't going to do nothing for us. Y'all thought we were
He got his
playing.
cloak on right now with the clan in his lair.
You thought we were
Mm-hmm.
thinking Fat Meat was greasy, so now you see it's greasy, and now you got
Fat meat
Yeah,
was
we
great.
understand you got beat. We understand you got your head bumped. You've been bullshitted. You've been had.
Yes,
You've been
sir.
took. You've been hoodwinked.
Y'all ate the biscuit.
You
And
wanted
this is why we have the hashtag resurrection of the mental dead.
yep.
indeed. You wanted the double Satan burger to go. Now eat that motherfucker.
They got a nothing
Exactly.
because he ain't doing nothing for your black
Nothing
ass.
burger.
You got nothing for your vote. You should be upset if you're a Biden supporter. If you voted for Biden, you should be real upset right now because you didn't get shit, especially if you're black. You didn't get nothing for your
Double
vote.
nothing burger.
Double nothing burger with no fries.
You didn't get
All
nothing.
shake. All shake.
Invisible burger with invisible fries. Now eat that motherfucker.
But we need to give him more
Mm-hmm.
time. We got told the same thing with Obama. You just need to give him
He's
more
such an
time.
absolute.
You don't need no
Sir,
more fries.
once again, okay, the motherfuckers is talking loud, saying nothing, and what they doing is pissing on our heads, telling us it's rain. And these motherfuckers been going for this bullshit, man, for over 150 years since, we got out of bondage. Physically, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we're in mental bondage.
hmm
Mental one.
Indeed. He Biden puts the steroids on the motherfucking slavery. He tightened that
Oh,
motherfucking
yeah.
Oh, it just came
around
out
our brain.
recently. Biden's ancestry is nothing but slave owners. Go figure.
Oh,
Sir,
that doesn't surprise me at all.
sir, not in the least.
All that together. And some people are related and co-related. Y'all working
They just did a genealogy test on Jim Crow Biden. Found out that he comes from a long list of slave owners.
Which
Y'all
one of them
told us
doesn't?
he was better than Trump, though. But no, I'm just saying they said he was better than Trump. Anybody was better than Trump.
Once
Yeah.
That's why
again, you've been had.
That was crazy.
You've been hoodwinked. You've been bamboozled.
So I'm still trying to figure out how is he better than Trump. You got mandatory
Sir,
back.
that's the $1 trillion question.
They think he's better than Trump because he says so. And that's it. They just want to just
Man,
fucking advertisement. You know, just because he was
with old Jim Crow, Biden, and he wants you to go get slammed with some vaccine at that.
Yeah, and these fools is really going out and getting vaxxed. And then telling you, why aren't you getting vaxxed? Because I don't do what the government tells me to do.
Hey,
shit, you take to jump off the bridge, how you gonna jump? They be ready to jump.
Whatever the government tells me to do, I do the opposite.
yeah, hey,
You got you at some point.
as an elder of ours said, that any law that is so ambiguous that it is not understood by the common man is not a statute.
Right. So it just leads us into our next point.
Dopey Joe is Dopey Burn.
Yeah, but see, man, but Sleepy Joe, Dopey Joe, Trick Joe, whatever. The only thing that motherfucker gonna do, folks, like y'all said, he was better than Trump. Anybody but Trump. Mm-hmm. And this ought to show you, be careful what you wish for. And everybody went out there and voted for this trick overwhelmingly and all this other type of shit they say. But let's be real, folks. We got to get us some literacy, financial literacy, political literacy. Well, we got plenty of political literacy, but we need financial literacy and educational literacy and economical literacy.
Right.
Big bowl of Dunkyo and sucking it down with slow slow.
What did you say, Ramel?
I said they eating a big bowl of Dunkyos, sucking it down with a slow slow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You won't even defend.
Yeah.
You should be out
Mm-hmm.
if you voted for Jim Crow Bite and you ain't getting nothing out of it. He needs more time.
And the
Give him
part that got me,
Such
oh, here's the part that kills me.
he's a Bible spread. He's a Bible spread.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. In Obama, we see old Sambo didn't do nothing for your black ass either.
Exactly.
He did invite
Precise.
other people to the White House. That's about it. He invited other people for photo shoots and shit like that. Okay, yeah,
That's photo ops.
yeah, photo ops.
Nothing tangible though.
Mm-hmm.
But you get something for the LGBTQ.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he hurried up and did that. That's because he
Mm-hmm.
started fucking Illuminati bullshit. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we're still waiting
Yeah.
on you supporters. Any day now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Time's a ticking.
Yeah.
So the next
And
thing
then the
is
sad, yes, sir.
what did you say, Ramel? Not Ramel.
No,
Sabaka.
no,
Yes, sir. I'm still here.
What were you about to say?
No, I was just saying is it's very, very interesting of how we have regressed about 1,000 years intellectually and our group economics, having so much faith in the educational system that we have regressed 150 years since we've been out of slavery. 150 years. We went 150 years deeper into slavery. The worst chain and the worst shackle and the worst lock and bolt is the damn chain on the brain.
Mm.
yeah.
It's heavy.
Brain
Mm-hmm.
All right. So our next vaccines. So as you know, as we
Oh,
talked
wow.
about in previous shows, Jim Crow Biden has made the vaccines mandatory at the federal level. So it's only a matter of time. It's mandatory at the state and local level.
Mm-hmm.
Cities like Denver, San Francisco, and others have made it where the city employees have to have mandatory vaccines. But here in Denver, the Denver Police Department and the fire department said, "The hell with that. We're not getting no vaccines."
Wow. That's deep.
I mean, fuck the police and everything they stand for, but good for them standing on their laurels, and I could say that they're not getting it, but fuck the police and anything that stands with them. I mean, they're just nothing but fucking raiding the pockets of the taxpayers, and we're enabling them to do a lot. We're enabling them for a lot of shit. So fuck the police. And I'm glad that they decided that the vaccine was not right for them. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about black people. So don't get the vaccine, family. In Denver,
That's
the
right.
majority of police officers are white. So I mean, we give a fuck about them right now. I don't give a fuck
And they
about them.
part of the clan, twin. And
Right,
they part of the
right.
clan.
Fuck the Klan, the Brotherhood, and any other Peckerwood that stands with them. We're only talking about black people right now. And black family, don't get the vaccine. Save your life. Keep your for your ability to have babies to yourself. And yeah, and that fuck the police and the white fucking horse they rode in on. That's all I got to say about that.
That's right. Like parents say, don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Right. Don't
And
fall
they're
for
riding
it.
the fucking pipe of the mayor as it is already, so fuck them.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
So
Jesse LaShawn
like
Perry
that.
of Denver 2023.
yes, sir.
Right
Paris
now.
Mayor.
Let me ask you this, sir. Would you have to fire would you have the power to fire the police chief?
Yes.
Oh man, let that be your first official act, sir.
We made an agreement a long time ago, Shabaka, that when one of us gets into the mayor office, whether it be Sekou or Paris, that we won't put the headquarters of the mayor right in the motherfucking jail.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And,
Mm-hmm.
and when we walk up in there, every time we walk up in there with Paris, they're gonna say the Black Liberation Army has arrived.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I will not be walking up in there because I do not want to sell permanently, and I just have that feeling like no matter if he's the mayor or not, somebody gonna snatch my little mixed ass and throw me in a fucking cell somewhere. So I'm good. I'm good. I'll wait from the outside with the Black Liberation Army. Black Liberation Army. Yeah.
The Black Imperial Army has arrived.
Right, it has arrived. I'll be like coming to America theme song from the outside.
To reestablish
Hey.
line.
I'll be one throwing petals when he walks out. But I'm not going to that bitch. Unnecessarily, unless I got full what is it? Anonymity? Yeah, immunity.
Yeah.
Whatever he just said, whatever that big word was that I couldn't pronounce. It's like, unless I know for a fact they're not going to take me and sling me in somewhere and chain me up, I think I'll be all right. But other than that, I'll just wait from the outside with a bullhorn. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Hey, when does the race start, Paris?
2023, Ramel.
I know what month. Like
the election is May 2nd, 2023. It all depends on how the Denver voters vote in November. There's a referendum to change the election date from May 2nd of 2023 to sometime in April of 2023.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'll be out by then. Yeah. So check it out. Two songs that are gonna be the theme music: UNICY and If I Rule the World.
Imagine that. And that's on frontlinecampaign.org. Make sure you check us out.
They're gonna play UNITY, man. I
mean, UNITY, you gotta let them know it's a unity.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, see, man, that's it, man. You know, the ancestors left instructions for us 50 years, 60 years ago.
Don't get the
vaccine. If you want to, hey, you got to bring the 5 digits together.
Right. Make a fist.
Hey.
Arm, leg, arm, head. Some make better arms, some make better legs, and some make better heads.
Yeah, so don't get the vaccine, family. You don't know what they put in the vaccine. You don't know what they're doing. And given this country's history, I wouldn't trust it at all.
Hey.
Kind of us. We've been used as guinea pigs too damn long.
Yes, sir. Hey.
Be able to have babies, man.
Yeah.
You should really want to think about that.
Biochemical warfare. Biochemical warfare.
That's what it is. So our next topic is Tay Anderson, Director Tay Anderson of DPS, was found not guilty of sexual assault.
Good.
That's right.
So this has been heavy in Denver right now. Several media outlets.
Is that the brother that? Is he a brother?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a brother.
Okay.
Several media outlets. Shout out to Brother Jeff. Have been focusing on this heavily over the past week or so. And we're going to touch on it here on Frontline Black News.
Just a little bit.
The brother was found not guilty, or in other words, unsubstantiated. He wasn't on trial, but they treated it as if it was a trial. And bring Shabaka back in. Lost Shabaka for a second. They treated it as if it was a trial, even though it wasn't a trial. And this brother was found not guilty. It was found unsubstantiated. DPS did an investigation which cost taxpayers, Denver taxpayers, $250,000. While DPS has no AC for the kids, has no buses for the kids to get to and from their games, but they decided to spend this money on an investigation that was found unsubstantiated. So, based off of a lie that a white woman, as usual, which is the history of this country, lying on down to the ground. Or as in what happened causing the young man to be killed, tortured and killed based off of a lie. And this white woman is still alive to this day. So in this case, a woman by the name of Mary Kathleen Fleming was at the state capitol a few months ago talking on a sexual assault bill. And she mentioned that some elected official had sexually assaulted 62 undocumented students. And at 5 months later, after a 5 months investigation that cost taxpayers to $250,000, is found unsubstantiated. So now the media, the white-owned media, was running with this story, saying that he was guilty, that he was a pedophile, that he was a sexual assaulter or rapist. And there was a massive walkout, a student walkout this past week, which was more like a Klan rally, because it was mainly white students that were walking out against Tate Anderson, asking for him to resign, saying that he needs to resign. There's a picture of a white girl holding a sign with a black boy holding her up, saying "castrate Tate, pedo, stupid bitch," on the thing, and the media was running with this. So here on Frontline Black News, shame on you, white-owned media. Shame on you, Channel 4, Channel 7, Channel 9, Fox
31.
News. Shame on all of you for demonizing this black man. And this brings me to a quote that Malcolm X had given us over 50 years ago. And it goes as such: the media, the most powerful entity on earth, they have the power to make the innocent guilty and to make the guilty innocent. That's power. Because they control the minds of the masses. The press is so powerful in its image making role. It can make the criminal look like he's the victim and make the victim look like he's the criminal. If you aren't careful, the newspapers will have you hating the people who are being oppressed and loving the people who are doing the oppressing.
Well, look at the O.J. Simpson case in Los Angeles in 1994. That's a classic case of that right there.
Yeah, go ahead, Ramel.
Okay, I just want to say that there's 7 characteristics to the devil, just like the 7 letters in the word Lucifer, right? Lucifer, okay? So bear with me. But each one of those letters stands for something. The L stands for lies, which is they be telling lies left and right. The U is dealing with usury, which is, a motherfucker got like motherfucking Jordan and all these different other companies. You know what I mean? The shit is only worth 10 cents, but they charging you motherfucking $1,000 or $100.
You talking about Nike?
Okay. The C, Yeah, Tony, or any company under European rule. So then you got the C, which is character assassination.
Yep.
And that's what we're talking about right now. That's that's a prime example of character assassination. The media just shitted on that man.
Yeah.
Okay, then the I is indoctrination, which is what they're doing to brothers and sisters all through the diaspora. The F is the falsehood. The E is the evil, and the R is the ruthlessness, because they don't treat people humane. They be talking all this humane treatment shit, but they're the first motherfucker that treats people inhumane and
Mm-hmm.
mistreats people. So I just wanted to state that. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
yes, sir. It's called hypocrisy.
you. Go ahead, Shabaki.
Yes, sir. It's called hypocrisy, and he is absolutely correct on what he is saying. And the more reason that I keep emphasizing on getting our children away from this public indoctrination school system, this public indoctrination social media bullshit, and do for ourselves and instill the values and experiences of what we need to get ahead as a people, because it's only going to be us to save us. And once again, the other groups got to go hold your own nuts. We already got bashed in the head for and had police dogs sicked on us,
Yep.
Right.
and we still the last, and we still have to go to the back of the bus.
Yep.
Well, to finish up this topic real quick, um, the school board censured him. I hope you guys can hear me. School board censured him, and that was a shitstorm in itself. But then, as I'm reading an article in the Denver Post, uh, written,
Notorious for
yeah, written by
denigrating black people.
Noel Phillips on September 24th, 7/16, updated the 25th. It talks about this. It talks about Denver District Attorney this week declined to file criminal charges against Tay Anderson, which is crazy. Like, they had plenty of time to do all this, but
They
now
had
they want to
five
talk about it.
months.
Now they want to now that somebody mentioned to file criminal charges, right? And the DA said no. Okay, so as documents show, Denver Public Schools spent more than $190,000 on its investigation that did not substantiate sexual assault allegations against the school board member. The Denver Police Department brought a sexual assault case against Anderson to the district attorney's office. But after reviewing the facts, prosecutors decided Thursday they would be unable to prove the charges beyond a reasonable doubt to a jury, said Caroline Tyler, a spokeswoman for Attorney Beth McCann. Today, DPD Detective Curtis Johnson confirmed to me that their investigations into Director Anderson had been presented to the Denver DA's office, who has declined to file any charges. Christopher Decker, Anderson's attorney, said in an email. Anderson, 23, repeatedly has denied all sexual assault allegations. Meanwhile, the DPS board of directors spent $192,004 or wait, right?
Yeah, it
192,000
was more than that.
on its investigation, which was launched in April, according to the documents obtained by the Denver Post through a Colorado Opens Records Act request. Wow.
That's the core request.
Yeah, the large amount
Can I,
paid.
can I say,
Hold on, let her finish, Ramel.
The large amount.
sorry about
The
that.
large amount was paid to investigations laws groups, the outside firm hired in April to investigate sexual assault and harassment allegations against Anderson. But the board also used a public relations firm and another law firm to help it navigate the crisis. Invoices from the three firms show the investigation law group received $160,365 for its work, which lasted from early April through mid September. Rockford Gray, the PR firm, was paid $25,758, was the largest bill coming in April when the crisis started. That month's invoice was $13,737. and Kaplan and Ernest, a Boulder law firm that advises educational institutions, received $5,880. The investigative report, which was released September 15th, found that all sexual assault allegations against Anderson were unsubstantiated, including claims by a woman who testified before the state legislature that a predator in the school district had preyed on dozens of students. The school board later said she was referring to Anderson, and investigators concluded the woman was not credible. No victims ever came forward. And if the victims, I'm going to stop reading right there because it gets a little longer, but it's all the same information. Um, Thank you, Denver Post. Uh, what it means, what basically they lynched that man.
Yep, it was a public lynching
And then you had all the little white students. This is a sea of white kids, and maybe like 8 or 9 black kids
from East
from
High.
East. And I remember East being black,
No more.
not no more. And all these children, they were there acting on, either they were ditching class or they were acting on something they came over to PA or teachers had been discussing in regards to Mr. Anderson. Their distaste for him, and they're saying, oh, well, he's this, he's that, blah, blah, blah. So you got kids down there, teenage white kids down there protesting, calling this black man a pedophile, a rapist, and asking for him to be thrown out of his position, which is just and they were angry about it. Let's just put it that way. Shout out to Brother Jeff for being down there recording some of it. Upon asking some of the children, he seemed to have covered. One kid was yelling in the camera, real angry, real irate. He did this, he did that, and it was like, did he? You obviously have been watching the news. The man is innocent. Unsubstantiated means they found he was not guilty. Innocent. But they wanted
No,
to
they
keep
haven't
going.
been putting it on the news.
No,
That's
they
the
haven't.
thing.
They haven't put it on the news, but they put in certain things on there.
Yeah,
Or
after the
basically, what it was a smear campaign against him.
Yeah, they
yeah,
don't like the kid. They don't like the kid. I mean, he's like 23 years old. He's just a young man still, but they don't like him, and they try to well, they're doing a successful job. If he allows it, they're doing a successful job to ruin his possible future in politics or whatever he decides he wants to do. I'm glad that the young
They
man
just smudged that
said,
man.
yeah, I'm
yeah.
glad that the young man said he ain't gonna resign. I'm disappointed in the city of our people. This is that one time where, this man was actually telling the truth and nobody stood behind him in the community.
Well, I stand behind Tay,
We stand behind
and
him.
it was on camera. I was standing behind him.
Yeah. It is like we stand behind him, but where's the rest of the city? Where's, you know what I mean? And I'm kind of disappointed in that. But aside from that, we have been on that man's side since the start of it all. I would say
Since the very
since the start of it
Indeed.
all, and we had a chance to go down and sit in Brother Jeff's cultural center and speak our minds about the censure. And it got real intense with us in there, but I felt like, man, if we were the only ones that showed up, well, at least we were impactful. You know what I mean? I was really disappointed. Everybody comes in and out, to show support whenever they want to, but at the end of the day, like, this man seems like he's going through all of this shit really by himself. And now that they wanted to submit it to the DA to file charges, and thank God the DA did the right thing and didn't want to pursue that because that was stupid. I mean, there was already so much money being spent, which could have went for a lot of things. I mean, the one lady did the math on it. They could have done a whole bunch of different things with this money, and they didn't. And the man is like, you can tell the last time he's saying that he's getting death threats, and you got to walk around with a what do you call it, bulletproof vest on, and that's a real
Right,
serious
right, right.
thing. Like,
Teflon.
yeah, like
Teflon,
he's
yeah.
worried about his life. He's worried about his child's life and whatnot, and still maintaining his position and not giving in, because it's the one time he's like, I'm gonna fight for my position here. I'm gonna fight for everything that I'm not guilty of. So we gotta give him credit for that, because a lot of
Right.
people would just give up.
Right. This brother could have took his own life, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, he was facing a lot. He's facing a lot of heavy, heavy discriminative shit, and it's really racist. They're really racist. Um, Even with the sisters that are on the board, they're showing their ass too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like Jennifer Bacon.
Yep, showing her ass too, that they should give him the mama speech. That ain't his mama. But not only that, but everybody in that board is disappointing, and all of them need to be wiped out like city council. So they always want to preach about integrity and what it means to have integrity. And the only one that looks like they have integrity on that board is Mr. Anderson. That's the only one that looks like he has any kind of integrity or stand on what he's saying. Everybody else is on some old wishy-washy shit and can be bought or paid off. And Brother Jeff kind of proved that in his little day-to-day investigations and questioning the boards or whatever. He brings us some very valid points. So shout out to Jeff Art. You know, because he's been working really hard on the team Anderson side. You know what I mean? And it is not entertaining by any means, family. It is the most devastating thing to watch somebody get lynched in public. Even if you're trying to be as transparent and just knock the shit out the park, so you don't have to deal with it. They're trying to lynch him. They're trying to destroy him publicly.
Trying to lynch him, castrate him.
You got little white girls sitting on the shoulders of brothers, holding a sign talking about castrate him. Now, that shit right there just needs to stop in general. Whose kid is that? Whose kid is holding up the white girl?
Right.
Let's talk about that. That kid's mother needs to have a discussion with that kid's mother. Like, not the little white girl. Let's talk about the little boy and somebody talk to his mother. Because how is that okay? How is that okay to be holding up a little white girl talking about castrate a brother?
Right.
Go
ahead, Ramel.
I just want to say one thing. I heard, yeah, can you hear me?
Barely.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I heard one name in all this that kind of struck a nerve. Beth McCain.
Yeah, that's the enemy.
That's the motherfucking DA that got me in this motherfucker right now.
Yeah, she's the enemy.
You know what I'm saying? And what's crazy is, you know, I'm surprised, you know, they treated the brother the way they did. And I hate giving them people credit because, you know, just because they, you know, they do a kind thing or some shit like that, them people are devious in the motherfucker. You know how many motherfuckers Beth McCain have put away for bullshit?
A lot.
You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say this, that Beth McCain lied her ass off in my case, and she said that I hit the victim multiple times and all this other good shit. She was trying to give me motherfucking 48 years. You know what I'm saying? So fuck the motherfuckers, man. Fuck the devil, fuck the system, fuck the police. They ain't do that, man. I mean, the best thing they could do was what they did was not pursue charges. Mm-hmm. But I'm saying they already did the damage. They blemished the motherfuckers. They blemished the man's name.
Yeah, and he's lucky that he's young enough that he can try to shake this off a little later on if he chooses to, because he's still a young man.
What he needs to do is start suing the shit out of some of them people and making them look ridiculous.
Yep.
That's what he needs to do. That man needs to go first thing tomorrow morning. If he ain't done it already, pull him out some paperwork down there in the Denver County lawsuit section of the courthouse.
Can he sue? Just this is the question. Can he sue the lady that started the shit in the first place?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's called false accusation.
Who motherfuckers for that shit?
Yep.
That's where I'd start.
In
Defamation
other
of
words, I'm
that.
I would
all
love
You
that,
can
to.
and what I'm saying is sue them so damn bad that they will have their asses out there dealing with the sweeps, living in the tents and standing on the side of the goddamn freeway with a sign, "Hey, we'll work for food."
Yep.
Yep,
you citizens, man.
And
sure
that
do.
brings us to our next
You know,
topic.
The unhoused neighbors. Oh, that's me. Okay. Yeah.
So hold on. So the sweeps continue. We're on 89 and counting this year. That's like double all the sweeps that happened last year. Just to give context, the sweeps are raids that go on three times a week here in Denver, where they come and sweep these encampments at 5 in the morning. Tell everybody they gotta go. Run everybody for warrants. If they have warrants, they take them to jail. People that try to stand their ground get swept away like trash. All their belongings, ID, social security cards, all their important information gets swept away. They get told that they
State
can.
sponsored identity theft.
Yep. They get told that their
State,
belongings
go
are going to
ahead.
be put in a warehouse. The warehouse is by the Denver jail, so you have to go by the Denver jail in order to get your belongings back. If you're able to get your belongings back, because there's no guarantee you're going to be able to get your belongings back. And Michael Hancoon continues to do these sweeps. He's the one that is ordering these sweeps, and these sweeps are unconstitutional. They've been proven in the courts to be unconstitutional, but yet Michael Hancoon continues, him and his administration continue, and Denver City Council as well, continue to sweep people like trash 2, 3 times a week here in Denver, Colorado. Go ahead, man.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Ran a little fever. All right. So anywhere between 3 to 6 sweeps a week happen, sometimes two on the same day. We just got a newsletter earlier this week that or earlier on the weekend that said it's gonna be like six sections that are gonna be swept. Um, and some of them are like in South Denver, and some of them are in East Denver. Um, well, so I had the opportunity to participate in a reimagining the police task force. Basically, what is it, abolishing the police type thing.
Yeah, defund the police,
Defund the police.
abolish the police. It's a
Yeah,
task force I've been on for over a year.
yeah,
The community-based
hell
task
yeah.
force that
yeah,
put out 112 recommendations to improve public safety department, Denver Sheriff's Department, the Office of Independent Monitor to actually give it some teeth. And they literally keep passing the buck.
yeah.
Go ahead.
So I had the opportunity to participate, only because I happened to be here and they were talking about the homeless encampment, or homeless deputized civilians that come in and are able to issue tickets and maneuver sweeps and whatnot. And I happen to have some insight about it, so I had a little opportunity to participate, which is kind of like a good thing for me. It's like an honor kind of thing, because I never get to participate in any important shit really. So I was kind of happy about that. But I was telling them that these deputized civilians, that the people that have been out on the street for over 5 years know who belongs there and who doesn't belong there, and they don't deal with new faces, new white faces, new gentrified faces, and that the deputized civilians have to stay in alignment with the police. They have to, because at any given time you try to walk up on an encampment, it could go bad. If they don't know you, and you're over there just trying to peep in their tent, or sit there and fraternize, or maybe you're trying to cop some drugs, or you're trying to do something that you would normally not do. They're not having it, and but the team that is assigned to go out there, um, they have to be in step with the police. They got to be in alignment. That they take notes. There's all kinds of little enforcement teams that are already out there. There's a team that goes and makes a map of everybody's tent, where the tents are, who's in each tent, for the police to go in there later on and arrest everybody. There's a team for all this shit. There's now a homelessness and cabinet that's there to have discussions. It's already been going on for 4 months and already received money for it. I mean, there's all kinds of shady shit going on. And I basically was in there telling them, well, look, the homeless people don't wanna participate with these things that run them out. Secondly, nobody likes to be spied on in their own house, and that's what that is. And if these people can go in there and write tickets, um, for encumbrance, like being too much on the sidewalk or whatever, uh, they can also write tickets to have you moved for another sweep. They go in there. They're able to document everything that they see: trash, waste, needles, whatever they feel like they want to document. And then these are the same people that go on city council and talk about not in my backyard type. I Oh my god, I feel so much fear when I walk by. And the same people that at 4 o'clock in the morning will go by and terrorize the homeless people. It's like they're so determined to rid the streets of Denver so they continue their gentrified projects and whatnot. You know, to wipe out the population and put everybody in jail or put them in shelters anywhere but in their fucking neighborhood. You know what I mean? And so I got lucky to participate. And I also noticed that during the sweep, we had the hazmat contractors that got approved again, right? And
Contract got
the contract,
extended.
it got extended, and the one of the council members, gave the shake the "you better do right" speech. The
Amanda,
mammyism. Yeah,
no, Amanda Sawyer.
yeah, man, sir. And what happened? Nothing. In fact, they continue to be more disrespectful. They might pretend to be like cleaning up, but I watched one sweep where there was like you could clearly see undercovers walking through back and forth. And these people do not belong in the east side. I don't care if you think they live there or not, they don't belong there. They clearly look like they're up to no good. A rally of like 10 or 12 police officers just standing there in the midst of a sweep. One guy driving a bobcat like super fast in and out, and I watched them take down a whole structure around somebody. That person was still underneath the structure, and the cleanup people just came and destroyed the whole structure, took it down, and was in and out, almost ran somebody over. Not to mention, but the street cleaner people, they come and they flash lights like early in the morning in your tent, and anybody who has seizures, sometimes those flashing lights set off seizures. So you got people doing that intentionally, and that could cause harm to someone too, and they're not being very responsible. So that was a big waste of time. But they're acting like we don't have a plan B set up. Who was doing it before? You know what I mean? Who was doing it before? But we're still actively fighting. City council, and I'm just waiting for the homeless uprise to happen because I feel like that's just what needs to happen for them to really understand city council and the people in the neighborhood to really understand that these are people. They're not trash. They're not animate objects. They're actual people.
Now, have some of the city council members have to live like that for a week.
Right.
Oh, they couldn't hang.
Not even a day.
They couldn't hang.
Yeah. That's why I said put their asses out there for a week.
Yep, they couldn't hang.
Go ahead, Ramel.
Okay, these deputized civilians. That shit sounds like confidential informants.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's exactly what
exactly
it
what
is.
it is.
Exactly.
Straight snitching.
That sounds like a motherfucker that is on the payroll to snitch motherfuckers out, to tell on
Yep.
motherfuckers, to
So they
fire
don't get paid.
motherfuckers.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And then, what kills me is, and I've made the mistake before too, is expecting these devils to be civilized when they're the most inhumane, deviant motherfucker on the planet Earth right
They
now.
don't know how to civilize themselves.
You
Yeah.
know, You know what I mean? So I'm just like, it's like my sponsor Abu Shahid said. He says we seek comfort from the very source of pain where the pain is coming from. And where the terror is coming. We seek safety from where the terror is coming from. And that's the mistake that we keep on making. We keep expecting these motherfuckers to be on some old righteous shit, like they're the epitome of motherfucking justice when they're not. They're the embodiment of embellishment and injustice and trickery and hate and all that shit. And this is part of what it is. Them people are motherfucking deviant devils, diabolical schemers, and they got us motherfucking on some pipe dream shit. And fuck the motherfuckers, and the resurrection is real. They might have had the insurrection, but we don't have the resurrection. The resurrection eventually did, and I quote Shabaka when I say that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And then on top of it too, as I always have stated, many times, we got to get our children out these damn public indoctrination centers, because see, that's where that negative shit starts at. And then, of course, the economical conditions with housing and what have you.
Right.
And got to have some decent housing. You see?
Well, gentlemen, let's get into our closing statements.
All right. Oh, boy.
Go ahead, Ramel.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. An angel of peace, understanding and understood. Good near you. Bring a hope without double fishing from my campaign. Salute to the fallen soldiers. Peace and heavenly blessings to all my life family.
Yes, sir. Check us out Tuesday night on Shabaka's Blacc Experience. Is pretty much open mic. Speak what's on your mind about anything, these crazy ass uncertain contemporary times. And Shabaka Sankor for Frontline Black News. Check out frontlinecampaigns.org.
Yep. Thank you for watching Frontline Black News with myself, Lady Che, and Shane Kruma, Jesse LaShawn Paris, Shabaka Sincori from Shabaka's Blacc Experience Enhanced, which appears on Tuesdays. Shabaka, you want to run that phone number back?
Oh, yes, ma'am. Okay, the phone number for all you Biden supporters to call in once again is 516-418-5996. And we would really love to hear from you. We really would.
Really would. And also join us with myself, the Seduction Doll, and Ramel Understanding on Thursday mornings at 10 p.m. at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time for the Revolutionary Agenda with myself, where we talk about revolutionary things and raising money right now. So go ahead and hit that Cash App for Seduction Doll 13, raising money right now for an educational class that I really must take, and I'm almost there. So I'm just a little short. So if you guys kind of help, that'd be great. And sooner or later, we're going to start raising money for the mayoral campaign for Jesse Paris. But right now, I have to take a serious class, and I'm just like 100 short?
Yeah.
Yeah, like 100 short, just to start. But it's a real serious class. It's probably for my betterment. So we're going to I'm trying to raise some money. So you're just going to do that. You're going to see that running across my banner on the Revolutionary Agenda on Thursdays. So don't be surprised. Also, Black family, don't take that shot. Sorry about everything else, but this is our time to shine. Tangibles 2021. There's a very serious thing for everybody out there, for especially foundational Black Americans and American descendants of slavery. This is a serious thing right now, and don't give up your vote. Also, like and subscribe on YouTube and Facebook and all that good shit. And we'll see you guys again next Saturday for episode 30 of the Frontline Black News.
Oh snap! Episode 30. All right, thank
Hey,
y'all for
Frontline Black News.
episode 29 of Frontline Black News. We'll be back next Saturday with the brand new episode 30 of the Frontline Black News. And also make sure that you like and subscribe to the YouTube and Facebook page of Frontline Black News. Also make sure that you like and subscribe to the Shabaka's Black Experience Enhanced Facebook page and group. And we will see you then. Peace.
Peace.
Always.
Thank you, Shabaka.
Uh-huh.